If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you hit the subscribe button, you can hit the little bell to be notified anytime I post a new video or go live. Let me see if we can just pull up the feed so we can see your comments. And we'll get started. Okay, there we are. All right, we're going to be working with some earrings today, little post earrings. I had a request for these at Christmas time, and I thought, you know, this is something I don't normally do, so we're going to go ahead and do those. I already went ahead and made some. So let me just pull you in here so you can see what I'm working on. Make it a little bit easier. And then we'll get started. All right, so we've got a little pair of hearts that actually looks like two cherries. And then we have a little cloud that that says love on it, and a couple little hearts with that. And then we have a little heart that has a little heart on top. So we're going to be working with those. We're also going to be working with these wooden earrings. And I already went ahead and stained these with the antique wax. And for those of you that watch all the time, there's lots of videos on how to do this. So what I did was I stained these. I glued the two pieces together on this. And then I went ahead and I put some foil adhesive on it. However, when I foiled them, the foil did not come out as striking as I wanted it to. So I actually went back and I rubbed off the foil adhesive and I painted them partially black, which when I foiled really made the foil stand out and pop. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Also, I'll show you how I did the resin, but we're not going to do the resin because I don't really have a good area in here to vent it. What I usually do is I have my nail dryer, okay, and then I use the hard type resin, and I put links in the description on YouTube on where I got all these from. So what I did was I took a little cup, I took some glitter that is for resin, and I added it to the cup with the resin in there and mixed it up and then poured it in here. And then at which time I put it under the dryer for 60 seconds on the slow mode, not well, there's a low heat mode on mine, so I used the 60 seconds and I just hit it twice. But what I do is I do this in my kitchen. I actually put all this on a Teflon sheet and I put it on my stovetop and turned my fan on. So what it was doing was it was exhausting the fans, the smell from the resin out the fan on the oven stovetop. So I didn't get any of that. You can also do it and put it on a windowsill, but it's still going to smell. And you really shouldn't be breathing that odor in. So that's why it's good to vent it out somewhere. All right, so like I said, I stained these. Then I went ahead and I colored this black. And then I'm going to place my foil. Now this is a leopard print foil. And I'm going to push that on there. And then I'm going to use my brush. Now, this is a Norwex brush that I use. You can use any toothbrush. I just like this because it's a very stiff bristle and it keeps everything where it's supposed to be and really applies pressure better than a toothbrush. So there's that. And then what you do is you apply the top coat, the final coat to it, and this takes about 5 seconds to dry. And all it does is put a nice even coat on that and seals the foil. Now I know on Artistic Painting Studio she has a couple of different leopard print foils. I like the one I have because it has like a brown tint to it. And I'm not sure the name of it, but when I look it up, I will post it. She has some that have a bigger print on it, and that's the one with the smaller print and like the brown background. So there is our earrings. Now I'm not liking this. I think this should be darker. So I think we'll go ahead and we will just add a little bit of the antique wax and make it look darker. So for this, you can just use a baby wipe. Now that's too dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of it off of there. But I wanted it darker than that. I don't know if you can see that. I can pull it in closer. But what I did was after the wax dried, which doesn't take a very long time, I went ahead, like I said, and mixed my resin with my glitter and then poured it in there and put it under the lamp for like 60 seconds twice. That's the dark I wanted. See, I had these sublimated and I thought, you know, these are okay, but I think this is really more striking than the sublimated ones. And I think I had shared them. So let me go ahead and put them on my hands. And then let me see if I can get this closer for you. Oops, we didn't want to do that. There. Just a real nice glitter in there with the resin. I didn't even paint the inside of these. I just went ahead and mixed the resin and poured it right in there. And this is the glitter I used with the hard type resin. So let's go ahead and glue the rest of these together. And for this, I'm using some Gorilla Super Glue gel. And when gluing these together, you're just going to put a dot on each one in a few places. You don't need a whole lot because you don't want this oozing out the side. So sometimes you gotta shake it down. I think I have to put another hole through there. There we go. And we'll just, wrong side, put a little bit of gel there. And then place it on top of this one. And then just put it together. And give it a minute to set up. You want to make sure it's where you want it while it's drying to get it in the right place. I can show you on this what the foil will look like without the black background. The black background on this really makes it pop. So when those dry, I'll go ahead and do that for you. Meantime, we'll go ahead and do these. You don't have to do the back of this piece or the top of that piece with your antique wax or whatever finish you're putting on it, because you're gluing them together, so you're not even going to see the inside. Thank you for the thumbs up. Feel free to hit the like and share button. It's appreciated. We don't get paid for these videos, so any exposure you can get us helps us towards being monetized. So let's see if this is dry now. This feels dry, and that one feels dry. So we'll go ahead and foil. And like I said, without that black background, your gold is not really going to come through. It looks okay, but it looks washed out. So I'm going to go ahead and try and wipe a little bit of it off. But I'm going to go ahead and just marker over it. That way I can go back and put some more foil adhesive on there. Now the foil adhesive takes about an hour to set up, so you can't just foil and go. And you know, with this one, I think I'm going to cover the whole thing. And I'm going to do it all in the foil adhesive. So when this dries, which shouldn't take very long, I will go ahead and show you. I have many videos on showing you how to foil, but let's go ahead and do these two while we're at it, because I kind of like it with both. I'll try and do a video with the resin and post it, but I have a bunch of videos on how to resin things, so you can always go back and look at one of those if I don't get it on right away. I have a new phone and it's not quite cooperating. Well, it's just, I think, more advanced than I'm used to, and I'm having trouble learning it. Not to mention an update was done on it, and that's not working out very nice either. All right, so we'll let this dry. When this dries, then we'll go ahead and apply the resin. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and do our little ones. And maybe I ought to bring you down just a little more, because these are really tiny. And I kind of want you to be able to see. That's about as far as I can get it. So we've got two little heart cherries. We've got a cloud that has a few little hearts up above. It says love. If you can see it. And here is the heart with the cherries. It's hearts, but it's supposed to look like cherries. And then here we have the little heart that has a face on it with a little, it's supposed to be like a bow on top of the heart. And there's that one. So for these, the first ones, when I did these, I did them with my paint markers. That was okay, but the paint markers, the colors I wanted, I did not have in a fine tip. So they got a little crazy. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and use the colored pencils this time. And we want a pink, because I think this will give me more control over my coloring. Maybe we'll do one with purple hearts on top. Why not? These are my watercolor pencils. These are really great pencils to work with, because you can dip them in water and they get really darker. Then they end up just like a paintbrush. So for this, I'm going to color the heart on top of the heart purple. Now, if I wanted it to look more like watercolor, all I would have to do is dip this in water and use it similar to a paintbrush. But this has better control than the markers do. If I had the fine tip, they would work better, but I don't have them handy. So we're just going to color. Now I already went ahead and I took the back and I used the antique wax, and it's the Waverly antique wax that I use. It's nice because it preserves your piece and kind of seals it. So with these, we're going to use the post earring back on them. And I did, in the description on YouTube, I did list the link to that. So we've got two. Now for the cloud, I did it with blue before, but I kind of like the white. So I'm thinking, you know what, that would even be cute if we put a little glitter on that. So let's go ahead and do that when we're done here. But see, with these, I can just color right over top of it. It doesn't do anything to the word love. You could paint these if you wanted, but these are quite small. So I'm going to color the little heart pink and the bigger heart red. Now, let's go ahead and put a little bit of glitter on the cloud. So for that, I want my glue, regular glue. I think it would look pretty if we can get it out. Come on. Wish somebody would invent a little container that would not get stuck. So I'm going to use a little paintbrush because I don't want to cover up the word love. So I'm just going to dip this in the paint or in the glue and kind of brush around the word love. And then we'll go ahead and use a little glitter. Now I kind of want to do it where I can catch it. And put it back in the bottle. It just has a little bit of glitter to it. Just a little touch, a bling. And then we'll save this. What we can, anyhow. There we go. So that's going to look pretty once we put the resin on top. All right. So next, we're going to go to the cherries. The two little hearts. Now this would even be cute if I added, I could even add the resin that has the glitter in it on these hearts. Excuse me. Now, one thing I found out in making these earrings, I've tried every kind of glue on the back to add the post to, and they always tend to pop off, no matter what glue I've used. So, with these, I'll show you what I did. I actually took a little bit of the resin and I put a dab on the back and then stuck the little earring post into that and then stuck it under the heat lamp. This is not coming off. It's not going anywhere. Resin is extremely tough in holding things in place. So I wouldn't even try any kind of glue. I would just put it in the resin. Come on now. Because that will hold it in place. And they're not going to bring it back to you and say, this came undone. So we're going to make this look like the leaves. And I think I'm just going to draw a faint line over the line, like that. Hopefully when I do the video on over top of the oven, I'll be able to show you. Now I could just go ahead and do this. Let's just go ahead and add a little bit of resin with the glitter because I already have it there. I'm just using a wooden skewer from the Dollar Tree to kind of put it in place, because this is not something I want to pour on. I kind of want to put it where it's supposed to go, because if I try and pour it on, it's going to get all over. And when I do the resin, when I did it on the other earrings, I went ahead and I let gravity do its work out of the container. I did not press on the container. I just let it fall right down on top of. I may have to do some green glitter too. Now see what you do then is you would put this under the lamp for 120 seconds until it dries. Now, if I had a real sunny window, I could go ahead and put that in the window and it would cure. So when I'm ready to do that, I will finish those. All right, so for these, like I said, you would just let gravity do its work, let a little drop come out. And in the description on YouTube, I have the link to these posts for your earrings. But this would just go right in the resin and then go under the lamp for 120 seconds. And that will not come off. Now with this kit, you get the posts, you get the hypoallergenic backings, or you get the regular backings. And there are two sizes. There are bigger ones or smaller ones. So for this, you'd want to use the smaller ones. So we'll put those aside. We'll let these dry. But then we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to make earrings out of these. How to put your pieces together. Now for this, you're going to need a ring. See, we even did some of these last year. We have wooden ones. We had this shape. we had this shape, and these were nice if you did these in brown and then you added your glitter resin inside. That looked really cute. We even have these big ones. You could do resin on these. I would just put the resin tape underneath. Now the resin tape is a tape that you would put this on. And it's a sticky tape. But what it does is it allows you to make this sealed. So when you pull off the tape, your resin is still sticking to it. It's clear, so it's going to dry really fast. I would just make sure that you have a tight seal on it, and then pour your resin in there. Same with this one, because it goes all the way through. This just makes it stay right on top, and then when it's dry, you just peel it right off. Excuse me. All right, so for this, I kind of like these better for this. So let me see if we're going to need a ring or not. We might need one. And I don't know if I have any with me or not. I don't think I do. It's called a jump ring. I have them here, but they're really big. And I don't want to use real big ones. But I might have to show you what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead with these. All right. This is a jump ring. And this is pretty big. I don't know that I would want one that big. You go the next size down. But you take your jump ring. You take your pliers. And I actually have a little ring that I wear on me that I can just twist. So I don't need the pliers. But that is in the other room. We need to go a little bit wider with this, because you need your jump ring. Well, maybe these are the right size because of how thick these are. Okay, so your jump ring is going to go in the hole there. And then you're going to pinch your jump ring, whoa, back in place without sending your earring flying. All I'm doing is pinching it. Let me get out my other pliers, because it's going to play finicky on me here. So you want this on there, and then you're going to take two pliers and you're going to put one on one side and one on the other, and you're going to join the tip of your jump ring back in place. Now, if your earring doesn't stay straight, all you're going to do is twist the earring, this little circle at the bottom of the earring piece itself. You're going to turn that just a little bit so this lays flat. By laying flat, I mean lays forward. So you have your jump ring, which is your round rings, and then you have your earring back. These also came from Amazon. So let's do this again. We're going to take our pliers. We're going to split open the jump ring. We're going to then put the jump ring in the hole of our earring. Bring it forward. I'm going to close it a little bit, and then I'm going to put the earring on it. And then we're going to totally shut it like that. Now I'm also going to pinch it this way to join it. And actually, we'll do it this way. There we go. And like I said, if this is the way you're going to put it in your ear and it's not laying forward, you're just going to turn the little ring at the bottom of your earring until it's where you want it. It opened up a little, so we're going to close it shut. There we go. And sometimes it's easier just to use your hand to twist it so you've got it where it should be and how it should be laying. So there's those. Now for these, I'd like to use the gold on these. And because these are so wide, they will require a bigger jump ring, so this should work fine. So let's get out 2 of these. These earrings will be in my store, in-home store. I have a store attached to my house, but if anybody's interested in them, just let me know. I can add them to my Goimagine store. If you've been in my Etsy shop, I'm starting to move a lot of my stuff from Etsy over to Goimagine. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can get this through here. I don't know. May need a bigger one. I may have to go to the next size up, which I don't have with me right now. But what we could do to solve this totally is we could have just left the one layer, put that one layer on this, and did our glitter that way. Then we wouldn't have needed such a big jump ring to go through there. Where'd it go? Because it is really wide and it's having a hard time getting through there. So what is going on here? Let's try it this way. Instead of moving it to the side, I actually split it forward. Nope, not going that way either. So I'm either going to have to get a bigger jump ring, or let me see what other option I have close by. These are little posts, but they have an option for a jump ring. So that's pretty much similar to that one. So that's not going to work. But we could go ahead, just for these purposes, just go ahead and put it on this. We'll do these with the gold. And that one's a little bit stretched out, so we're just going to go with a new one. So what you do is you find the little split in the jump ring, and you twist down on one side and up on the other side. There we go. And we'll put this on, and then we'll grab one side, grab the other, and twist it back into place. I want to get them to meet up the way they did before I took them apart. There we go. Now, if I were to put this in my ear, it would be sideways. So I'm actually going to take this and twist so we get it that way. If anybody is leaving any, oh, there you are. Hey, Joanne, how are you? For my new shop, sure can. It's in Goimagine. The only thing my shop, my Etsy shop will have now is ribbon and the craft storage containers. Everything else is going to move over to Goimagine. The practices that Etsy has been doing, I'm not thrilled with. And what I liked about Goimagine, their profits were not going to their shareholders. They were actually going to several children's charities within the United States. So, because of that, I decided to switch. But like I said, I'm not closing off my Etsy shop entirely. I'm just going to be more cautious of what I put in there. So there's that one. So I think the silver looks good on these, and the gold looks good on these. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this back and just leave one piece on the front and put it on this resin tape and put my glitter in there. This is too thick and it's going to require a bigger jump ring, and I do not think I have bigger ones. So we're going to go with smaller ones. So what I'll do is I'll finish these and I will do them under the resin lamp, show you how I do them when the lamp is under the fan in the kitchen. So it's not going to have that smell coming up in my face, up my nose. And see, I can do the same with all of these. I can put them on the resin tape and put the glitter and resin in there. So I think that's what we're going to do. That looks pretty when it's hanging down like that too. See, we even had some of this. Look at that. That would look really pretty on there. Wow. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do a video on that to show you how that's done. And see what you think. What we got a couple sets here we can make. These were left over from last year. Ooh, this is a pretty one. So again, if anybody needs any of what I'm showing, just reach out. I can put them on a video for you, or in my shop for you. There's that one. And there's that one. But I have a lot of resin videos on here, so you should be able to watch any of them and see. But we'll go ahead and finish those offline. Does anybody have any questions? I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate you hitting the share button. I appreciate you hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing. But again, I just don't want to mess with the odor from this. It's not good. So you really need some kind of ventilation. And the best ventilation is a fan. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be more than happy to share any information with you. So these are looking really, really cute. Let me pull you in again. Let's see if you can see those. I'll have a video that I'll share. I'll try and do a short and put that on YouTube so you can see what they look like after they're done. If you're not following me on Facebook under robinswreathery classes and supplies, go there. I always put the videos on there. I will also have videos on YouTube in the way of a short, just so, you know, you guys can see it. All right, you all have a great evening, and thank you so much. I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.